Folks, this is your 3-minute warning. We're going to get started in 3 minutes. Thank you. All right, everybody, thank you. Welcome to the 2025 annual meeting of Bethel Congregation. The first order of business, this is technically a business meeting. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes from last year's annual meeting. They were available when you, I think, checked in this morning just outside of the Offutt Auditorium. I don't know if you've had a chance to look them over. They're not very long. I'll give you just a moment to do so if you haven't already. And in just one moment, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of last year's annual meeting. Thank you. Do I have a motion from the floor? See one back there. Thank you. Second? It's a second. All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Thank you. And now, Cantor King, if you would please come forward.
Normally, the incoming president would choose a song that has meaning for them, for their families, and for their outlook on life. Rebecca, our incoming president, has requested Achenu, a prayer for the hostages that still remain imprisoned. I'll ask everyone to rise. ישראל. אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. אחינו כל בית ישראל, אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם עליהם, יוצאים מצרה לברכה, ומפעל לאורה, ומשבוד לגאולה, השעה הגלה ובזמן קריב. המקום ירחם עליהם, יוצאים מצרה לברכה, ומשפע לאורה, ומשבוד לגאולה, השם בגלה ובזמן קריב.
You may be seated. At any annual gathering, a year to year, always you have this sense of, powerful sense, I would say, of the passage of time, another year come, another year gone. And in the course of a year of synagogue life, always blessed with so many things to celebrate. People are married, babies are born, birthdays, anniversaries, b'nai mitzvah celebrated, all of the sweet things of life. But coming together for the annual meeting, in some sense also like the Yamim Noraim, like the high holy days, you can feel sadness and you can feel loss. It's part of our duty this morning, as we do it each year, to call to mind members of our congregational family who have passed from our world to the next world in the year gone by. Their connection to Bethel was an expression of the values of our faith, and they brought light and life and love and laughter to their families and to our congregation, to our family. As our community was enhanced by their presence, so of course diminished by their loss, and what we can best do is to honor their memories by living our lives every single day in a way that would make them proud, and by infusing their spirits into the congregation that they were connected to in the years that we shared with them on this earth. And so this year, as a congregation, we remember with reverence the lives of the following members: Raymond Altman, Kenneth Kenny Baum, Lois Cookie Bensky, Mark Blake, Richard Kaplan, Betty Dane, Yvonne Daniel, Hilda Dopkin, Diane Uden, Dr. Bernard Eisenberg, Dr. Jerome Fine, Dr. Moises Fryman, Stephen Golliner, Burton Gold, Rosalie Kaplan, Harvey Kasoff, Sandy Kasoff, Shelley Wiseman Kelly, Joseph Koff, Benjamin Kuntz, Marlene Kuntz, Rita Lair, Helene Levy, Marjorie Massing, Carol Matz, Janet Millitz Mazer, Steve Miller, Shirley Offit, Judith Pacino, Mike Roseman, Jerry Sorokin, Harvey Shine, Nancy Schneidman, Irv Schwartz, Dr. David Seff, Harvey Schenkman, Joel Sugarman, Dr. Arnold Sigler,
Fred Silber, Rita Silver, Estelle Silverman, Bernard Smullian, Dr. Philip Weiner, Rachel Yaffe, Carol Yumkis, and Peter Zimmerman. And as always, we say, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May their memories continue to bring blessing into all of our lives. Just want to pause for a moment and make sure we work very hard on this list, but just to make sure that there's someone here expecting to hear a name that they did not hear. Did we miss a name? Good, thank you. Thank you for being here this morning, and if you'll please rise for the memorial prayer.
שולחן ממרומים, אמצם מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה. במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזכירים את נשמות כל אלה שהזכרנו היום לברכה. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, ותצרור בצרור החיים את נשמותיהם, וינוחו על משכבותם בשלום, ונאמר אמן.
El Malay Rachamim, exalted and compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to those of our beloved ones whose souls have gone the way of Olam Haba, the world to come. We ask you, God, that they be gathered together with their loved ones in the next world, and that they will watch over all of us, continuing to guide us and inspire us, continuing to be a beautiful and loving presence in our lives. We ask you, God, that you hold them close in your eternal embrace, and that their souls are at peace forever. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated.
Fred?
All right, I'm going to ask you for your attention for a minute with a little change in the program because of some technical difficulties. So we're going to continue, skip over the video for the moment. Those of you who have your agenda will see that the next item on the list is a video presentation, but because of some technical difficulties, we're going to come back to that. And I will now move on to the Treasurer Controller's report. My name is Fred Cobb. I am the Bethel Treasurer this past year, to be followed by Matt Rothstein, who's up here. Well, I'm sure will do a great job. And I suppose as Treasurer, I've been entrusted with the Bethel finances, but the truth of the matter is I just sign checks. And you know, the real hard work goes to Josh and Randy in the finance office, and to Hal, who's not here today, couldn't make it, you know, but he's been the life and breath of Bethel budget and finances for as long as I've been around, and longer than that. So I'm just telling you what I've been told to say, okay? And if you have questions, talk to Hal. All right, so some basic numbers for you to make sure you know about. For the current fiscal year, and by the way, the Bethel fiscal year starts on June 1st and ends on May 31st. So we're talking about the last 12 months that ended this past May 31. So for that fiscal year, in terms of revenue, the congregation budget was just over $5 million for revenue. And by the way, by definition, as I've been told, only because I asked the question, congregation revenue, and I'm going to talk about school expenses in a minute, but congregation numbers, both revenue and expenses, includes dues and contributions, the Memorial Park, and the Soul Center. So all of those budgets and financial spreadsheets and so forth constitute congregational revenue. So again, the fiscal year that just passed, the budget was $5 million. The actual revenue was $5,238,000 and change. So we exceeded budget on revenue. For expenses for the congregation, the budget was $4.8 million, a bit over $4.8 million. And actual expenses, in fact, exceeded that by a bit. The actual expenses for the congregation were $5 million, just over $5 million. So we were a bit over budget on our expenses by about 170, well, really almost 200,000. So, however, because we were over budget also on revenue, in other words, we collected more than we had budgeted for, we actually had revenues in excess of expenses of just over 200,000. So from the standpoint of revenue, we did very well this year. The school budget is broken out separately, and those numbers were given to me, and I'll give them to you now. The budget for revenues for this past fiscal year for the school was just about $2 million, a little below that. The actual revenues were just about 1.9 million, so we're a little under budget on revenues. The expenses for the school for the budget was about 2.1 million, and the actual expenses were a bit over 2.2 million. So on the expense side for the school, in terms of the budget, revenues and expenses for the school, we exceeded our budget, and I should say we were we had a deficit. That's I guess what I'm trying to say, of just about $300,000. So when you combine the congregation numbers I gave you a moment ago and the school numbers, we had total revenues of just about 7.1 million, expenses of about 7.2 million, and therefore we had a deficit overall of about $100,000, which is pretty darn good as far as I'm concerned. And that deficit is made up through reserves that we maintain for this exact purpose. So I think that's everything that I'm responsible for. And I'll ask Ben, are we ready for the video, or are we moving on? We are, okay, thank you. What did I told you, Hal's the guy, I'm kidding. Go ahead. My understanding is yes, but I'll ask Cantor, Emily, do you know the answer to that? Yeah, so I think it's all of the school subsets go into the school budget. Right. Okay, thank you.
He just walked out.
Yes. You want me to just go? Yes. Yes.
Let me just introduce you.
I know, I got you.
All right, so the technical difficulties continue. It's not in your set. Right, you don't hear that anymore. It's not in your set. Right. Most people in here know what I'm talking about, I think. So Amanda Beitman, I don't think at this point needs any introduction, but nevertheless, I will introduce her. She is our Director of Development, and she is here this morning, among other things, to provide us with the annual campaign and live from Bethel report. Amanda?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And I have to say, I'm just so excited standing up here with all of the current officers and the outgoing and our incoming. It's also a little surreal that two of my very good friends are now officers. I guess I've hit that point in my life where like the officers are my age now. So that's also a big thing right now, but I'm very excited. So thank you to all of our leadership. It's incredible. And thank you to our community for showing up this morning. It means a lot to all of us. I wanted to share a little bit about the fundraising at Bethel this year because, as you know, it's much more than just our annual appeal. So the development department brought in a little over $1.6 million in donations this year, and you guys should clap for that. That's all your dollars. You are incredibly generous to Bethel, and we cannot be the community we are without your support. So Ben just flipped the slide for me. So I just wanted to kind of break down where is that 1.6 million coming from so that you have an idea of what we are doing in the development office during the year. So a big one is honors and memorials, brought in a little over $250,000. That is any time you have a life event and you want to dedicate a piece of Judaica. Those dollars go into that budget. That also is if you make a special dedication opportunity, which I really hope the videos work because they are incredible. The first one is our Berman Weinstein infant toddler playground video. We are so generously happy that the Weinsteins and Bermans came together, rededicated the infant toddler playground 25 years later. They had done it from their children's bar and bat mitzvahs, and now their great-grandchildren are in the infant toddler program, and they have rededicated that playground. So when you leave today and you walk out of the building, if you look to the right, there is an incredibly beautiful infant toddler playground for our youngest 2 and under to play on, and that was all thanks to the Weinsteins and Bermans. And the art is also Marilyn Berman's original artwork. I don't know if Marilyn's here today, I can't see, but she's incredibly talented in many ways. So we are so thankful for that. But that's another donation that goes into that honors and memorials line. So very grateful anytime people are able to do something generous for our synagogue. We also have our Book of Remembrance. So If you haven't, you will get a letter in the mail from Becca, who works with me in the development office, asking for your contribution towards the Book of Remembrance. Every year we create this book, and it's an opportunity for you to list any family or friends who have passed away, and it's your way of contributing to them. And it's a really special thing that every year we take the time to put all of our loved ones together in one booklet that is then given out at the high holidays for you to see. And know that those donations that we ask, that you make a donation for each name that you list, those all go into our operating budget. That all makes sure that Bethel is strong and we're thriving and that we have the dollars we need. And you can see those $18 donations add up because it's $43,000. So that's another line of revenue. And then yard site contributions. Everyone here, we always send out letters, and I think we're emails now, so sorry if it's just emails, for your yard site notices for your loved ones who have since passed, and we ask for a donation for the yard sites, and that brings in about $27,000. So just remember, every time you write those checks or send those payments in, whether it's $18, $36, all of those donations substantially add up for our Bethel community. Ben, you can do the next slide. Okay, and then we get into, speaking of yard sites, our yard site plaques. As you walk down the hallway, it's a beautiful way to remember anyone that has passed in your life. And you can, I always love seeing members and congregants walk down the halls and kiss their loved ones as they pass by. Those dollars also add up. They add up to about, we did about $13,000 this year in just those donations. So again, these are all the dollars you're giving to the congregation are adding up. So remember that anytime you make these gifts, it's really supporting the Bethel entire community. We also have, there's a few things on here. I won't go line by line, but just know when people use our mikvah, we also ask for a donation and people are making a contribution. We are a community mikvah. It is open up to everyone in Baltimore because we are one of the only ones that it's a pluralistic mikvah, which is we should feel very proud of that. That means all the synagogues around us who are not Orthodox come to use our mikvah, which is really crucial and important for Bethel to have that. So that's something else that we do that is really wonderful for the community. Ben, you can slide again. Our annual appeal, I have my two co-chairs right here. Arnold Furman's rolling his eyes at me. Arnold Furman and Randy Malnick, my tried and true. Arnold also wanted me to say, if there's anyone, if you see that number 796, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to hit that to 800, we would be making a record number this year. However, I would like to say thank you to everyone because we have never raised $796,000. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's absolutely incredible, and thank you. Ben, you can do the next slide. This starts off at our high holiday solicitations. You guys respond, and you respond generously, and it makes it a lot easier for us because, as you know, we host monthly phone-a-thons, we do texting, we do emails, we will send you letters. It is a lot of work. So when everyone responds early in the year at that Yom Kippur appeal, it makes our lives much easier. So just remember when Rebecca gets up this year again for her third year, which is a new thing too, she got to sub out Bruce. We will ask you for your generosity to Bethel, and we ask that you give and give meaningfully, and that's in whatever capacity that is for you. So thank you again. It is huge, it's critical, and it goes right into our operating budget. And you can keep sliding. And then I have to mention live from Bethel, our chairs, Joanne and Marshall Reef, are here. And if you look in the back corner, the renderings for the Hal and Susan Hackerman Terrace are on display. What an opportunity. I know Hal's not here, but he really is. He's the secret sauce behind how we keep the budget going and feel safe and secure. And as someone who's responsible for bringing in a substantial amount of dollars to balance the budget, I know Hal is always going to make sure we're in the right place. And this was an amazing way to not only honor him, but also Susan, who is here every single day, showing up for our community. She's going to any time there's a Shiva Minyanim. She shows up, and they are just such amazing members and who we all really aspire and look up to. So it was a pleasure, and Joanne and Marshall Reef were incredibly helpful. Joanne, you were just like my go-to girl now when it comes to planning. Every detail was taken care of, every thought. It was such a proud night for Bethel, and I feel like most of you were in the room. There were 900 people who attended, and it just was an evening to feel so proud about Bethel, and so thank you everyone for your support again. We don't have a live this coming year. It's an every other year event, so stay tuned for, is that gonna be 28? Oof, okay, in 27, sorry. I almost gave myself an extra year. Did you hear that? So every other year, and we look forward to that. So, and thank you again, because we raised $400,000 in that evening, which is absolutely incredible. So once again, everyone is showing up and really giving their best and being so generous to Bethel. And that is a little sum of how we got to over 1.6 million-ish, because I say money's always coming in. And thank you so much. And if you're looking to make a gift, you know where to find me. Thank you.
Folks, we have 3 really great videos that we're trying to show. And what I learned is that what worked at 8 o'clock in the morning does not always work at 10:51. So we'll get it working. We'll just move on with the rest of the agenda as we go, and I'll let you know when we're ready for the videos.
As per our bylaws, the chair of the Memorial Park Committee is our second vice president, who is currently Josh Shine. Josh has done a great job at Memorial Park, and in about, 20 minutes or so, he'll be the incoming first vice president, which means in 2 years you'll get to hear from Josh again in a much longer address than this morning. But without any further ado, here's Josh.
Thank you for that, Bruce. As Bruce said, the role of the second vice president is to oversee the Memorial Park, and I will say the job is fairly easy for the second vice president. Ben Krestuhl, Michael Ray, and the rest of the team do an amazing and outstanding job looking out for the park, for keeping it memorable, meaningful, very well manicured. They do an amazing job. So really the credit goes to Ben and Michael and the rest of the team for doing an amazing job. I show up at meetings and nod along and give them a thumbs up. Having said that, I'll give a summary. Okay, slides are up there. Okay. This year, we've taken important steps towards securing the long-term care and sustainability of the cemetery. We began an assessment of our aging infrastructure. There were some areas and pieces that have gotten a little old and a little beaten up. So we've identified those areas that need attention and planning a path forward to address these challenges in a thoughtful and responsible way. A proactive approach, which is what we're taking, is going to ensure that the Bethel Park remains a safe, dignified, and beautiful space for generations to come, and that's really what we're all about for the Memorial Park. We welcomed a new landscaping contractor this year. It was time to do a refresh, time to have someone with a fresh set of eyes paying more attention to things. The results have been noticeable already. The grounds are looking great. The care and professionalism of the team have helped us uphold the high standards our families expect and deserve, especially during a meaningful moment when they're visiting the park. As part of this renewed attention to the landscape, we've removed several old and dead trees that posed risks or detracted from the park's appearance, at the same time carefully monitoring other trees to preserve the natural beauty and serenity of the space. Operationally, we sold 87 lots this year, reflecting $146,800 in sales. We carried out 64 burials, bringing the total number of burials at Memorial Park to 2,950. Each of these represents a sacred trust with a family. We continue to take that responsibility with the utmost seriousness and care. The Memorial Park remains a place where our community can lay loved ones to rest with dignity, compassion, and in accordance with the traditions of our people. We're proud to serve in this role and grateful for your continued support in helping us maintain this sacred space. I'll add, if you haven't visited, if you haven't been there a while, it really is a beautiful space, a meaningful space, and if you have the opportunity to visit it, maybe not always for attending a funeral, but just to maybe visit loved ones and just to see a beautiful space that Bethel puts a lot of time and effort into, it's a worthwhile place to be. Thank you.
Cantor Emily Ellentuck, who I'll speak a little bit more about shortly, is maybe new to some of you. This is her first year at Bethel, and she is going to provide us with the religious school update at this time.
Good morning. So we have done a lot with our religious school this year, so I want to go quickly through some of our highlights. The first thing we did was take a look at what our goals were and restructure the entire program based on those goals. So we want our kids coming here excited and learning and wanting to be here. So our Hebrew program is hands-on, especially with the youngest kids. They are connecting physically with the Hebrew letters and moving their bodies, and we have kids that are excited to learn Hebrew starting in our Gan class. This year especially, we have had a focus on Israel. Our October 7th memorial, our fourth grade class did a whole school-wide Israel fair, and our fourth grade class also attended the march for the hostages, so that we can make sure that we're putting our attention and our love towards Israel, especially during these really trying times. Our holiday experiences have been fun and school-wide. Some of our highlights were a chocolate Seder, so that we could experience Passover in a really special and sweet way. Our school put on the first that we know of youth Purim spiel with a wicked theme, and we had a Rosh Hashanah Seder with lots of symbols for the new year and other similar type holiday programs, so that the kids are, again, engaged and excited to be in this space and feeling happy about their Judaism. For MLK Week, we partnered with our Social Action Committee and did special programs so that we could look at the greater community and see how we can make an impact and give back. We had a camp fair that was Tu B'Shvat themed with 6 different summer camps so that our kids could learn about the camps, and we could encourage Jewish camping, which we know is a really big factor in continuing Jews for the coming generation. Our midweek Hebrew program has a lot of flexibility, different time slots during the week, so that we can work with our families to find a way for them to have an extra touch point in their Hebrew education. So they're learning on Sunday, they come back during a time slot that works for them, and we're expanding our midweek Hebrew even further next year, offering it not just to 4th, 5th, and 6th grade like this year, but starting in 2nd and 3rd grade, so that they have the opportunity for extra Hebrew education. And we're expanding our time slots to start earlier so that it works for the younger kids. We're also going to have a Howard County location so that those students that have a hard time getting all the way here on a weekday afternoon will also have the opportunity for midweek Hebrew. Our 7th grade curriculum was revamped. This year, the themes of their curriculum started in with Holocaust studies and Jewish life cycle, and they took 2 really special field trips. We sent them to the DC Holocaust Museum, and they went to Bethel Memorial Park so that they could learn from Ben Kreshtul about what that part of the life cycle includes, and they also were able to help bury Geniza for our congregation. They took part in that. And by the way, they also started the year with Rabbi Sorokin visiting the mikveh. So we had the whole gamut and a lot of experiences for those kids. One of our big focuses of the year has been community building. We had Shabbat dinners in homes for each grade. I hosted the 4th grade. It was a really special experience to be outside of the building and build those friendships, relationships that we want to keep long-term with our families. And sometimes taking them outside of the building is a different way to build those relationships. We also are doing more to try to keep our families feeling comfortable in our Shabbat space. We put together a toy cart with books and Shabbat-friendly, low noise toys. We're also giving kiddish cups of grape juice at Friday night services and lollipops. We want our kids to feel welcome, and that's one way that we are doing that. We're also making sure that our kids know that we care about them, not just inside the building, but outside. We gave out goodie bags for Purim and for Hanukkah, and we will be visiting many of them at Sleepaway Camp this summer and bringing them Bethel Religious School swag. For our teens, whose only opportunity in the past few years was to be part of the Manjachim program, we are doing more programming for them, for our 8th through 12th graders. We had a Hanukkah party with over 20 kids. We encouraged them to come be volunteers at our Purim Carnival. And we brought a group of 11 to Dave & Buster's for just a fun time for them to hang out with other Jewish kids. And then we ended the year by taking 11 teenagers to New York City, where we went to the Tenement Museum. We went to a Broadway show. We went to Jonas Schimmel's 100-year-old Knishery, delicious, and ended the day at Mr. Broadway's Kosher New York Deli. So, what are we doing next year to top all this? I'll tell you. We have a full staff already for next year, which is pretty amazing. Yes. Almost our entire faculty from this year is returning, and we've had the final few positions filled for a couple months now. We have people wanting to come work for our school and be a part of this community. We've put a lot of our effort into school-wide programs this past year, and we're shifting our excitement to some epic Shabbat morning programs for our kids. We're going to have 6 themed Shabbat services next year for our kids. It's going to be a drop-off program for our religious school age. We're going to have a Harry Potter Shabbat. We're going to have Orioles Shabbat. We're going to have Ravens Shabbat. We're going to have lots of really fun opportunities for our kids to come in, do a kids service, do Shabbat program with a twist and a theme and a snack. We want them to feel excited about being here. And the parents can go to the main service, or the parents can participate in a parent program, or the parents can drop them off. Doesn't matter to me. I want the kids feeling connected to Shabbat, and we're going to get them with fun.
Those are not doctored photos.
No assistance from ChatGPT whatsoever. Starting next year, we are going to be implementing a program for our middle schoolers to connect deeply with Israel. For the first year, it's going to be grades 6, 7, and 8. We're going to have a trip for our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders and a parent, because I'm not taking 6th graders to Israel without one, to go connect with the land, meet the people, see the places, so that as they're getting closer to high school, we know what they're hearing out there. We know what's being said in those schools, and we want them to be able to say, I was there, I met them, I saw it, this isn't true, and feel very comfortable in their Judaism and in their Zionism. After the first year, it will sit in 6th grade and will be an annual 6th grade trip. We're also changing up the 6th grade curriculum to have a focus on understanding Israel on a deeper level. So it's going to keep, in 4th grade, they'll keep doing their Israel Fair and learn about it on an elementary level. And then when they get to 6th grade, they need to hear a lot more about the who's, the how's, and what we've learned from the ADL in their latest studies is that they need to hear all perspectives from us before they hear it from somebody else. We are planning a trip for our 8th through 12th graders next year to go to Alabama and see the sites of the civil rights. This will be a parent optional trip. I'll take that age within the country, and hopefully we'll take that age group to Israel parent optional the following year. So we're building that program. And the last way that we are building next year, at least for now, until I think of something else, is our new teen program that will be kicking off right after the high holidays called Beth El Teen Education Night. On Wednesday nights, we're going to open our doors from 5:30 to 7:30 for engaging themed topics such as Jewish demonology, Jewish zentangling, Jews in comics, Jews in sports, eco-crafts. We have Pearlstone coming in to do that. Torah CSI, moral combat, Tastes of Israel, and more. This program is going to be highly flexible. There's going to be 5 4-week sessions so that our teens who are busy one part of the year and aren't busy another part of the year don't have to feel like they have to opt in or opt out for an entire year and miss out on things. We're also turning one of our classrooms into a lounge so that they'll have somewhere fun to hang out in the middle of the 2 class periods for dinner, where we'll be ordering things like sushi, pizza, subs, and other things that are going to keep our teens filling their belly and their stomach. So we have, I think, our bases covered to engage our oldest students. And this past 2 weeks ago, we said goodbye to this year's seniors in high school with a graduation Shabbat, where we sent them off with travel Shabbat candlesticks so they can keep their Judaism with them throughout their next steps. So in order to do all of those things, thank you, first of all, for saying yes to Amanda when she calls, but also I want to recognize some of our amazing participants in our program and also faculty with a couple of awards. So the Joseph Lepowski Academic Achievement Award, the candidate for the Joseph Lepowski Academic Achievement Award is a student of the Beth Berman Lepowski Religious School who over the years as a student consistently demonstrates a desire to learn about and experience Judaism, demonstrates leadership in the classroom, and makes a sincere effort to undertake an in-depth study, Jewish history, culture, and the Hebrew language. So our winner of this year's award is Thomas Dudovicher. Thomas celebrated his bar mitzvah this past fall, and he said, in Hebrew school, I most enjoy the discussion about history, which helped me understand what it means to be Jewish. And he said, being Jewish is important to me, and Bethel has been a key part of that. So we are very excited that Thomas will be participating next year in our Bet 10 program and continuing his connection with Bethel and his Jewish education. The next award, the Morton Offit Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement for Continued Participation in Jewish Education. The teen candidate for the Morton Offit Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement for Continued Participation in Jewish Education is a current or former student of the Beth Berman Lepowski Religious School who actively engages as a teenager in the study of Judaism. And the winner of that award, unfortunately, isn't here because he's celebrating his high school graduation, Daniel Dressen. Daniel has been part of Bethel from infant and toddlers through many, many programs as he has grown up, and he just finished his last year being part of our Manjachim program. And we are very excited that he will be on staff as a teacher next year as an in-house sub and Hebrew tutor for our students. So, the next award, Joan and Morton Balin Award for Excellence in Teaching. The candidate for the Joan and Morton Award for Excellence in Teaching will meet the following criteria. She shall demonstrate a love of Jewish learning, an understanding of the needs of the students and their families, and the ability to recognize and implement changes required for the classroom and or the religious school. In addition, the candidate must be able to communicate with the students and their families in a manner that strengthens their students and their families' connection to religious school and the Bethel community. The most important attribute of the candidate is that she possesses the creativity and energy to sustain a thriving Jewish learning environment. And I'm very pleased to recognize Maura Fallon. Fallon has been a Hebrew school teacher for over 20 years. She teaches for us and also at Krieger Schechter Day School. She says, my number one reason for teaching both in the beginning and still now is to spread my love and the beauty of Judaism. I tell my students, if it's not fun for you, then it's not fun for me. And we truly see that in Fallon and in her teaching and every time we walk into her classroom. So thank you, Fallon. The final award will be given by Joan Cohen. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm walking away with something. I'll leave you the agenda. Thank you.
I just reached over to Emily, Cantor Emily, and I said, wow, what a report. The school has grown dramatically, and I'm blown away by what you do. I'm honored to be here to present the Daniel Grayson Award for Excellence in Teaching in honor of my father. The candidate for the Daniel Grayson Award for Excellence in Teaching recognizes a teacher's long-term commitment to Jewish learning and to the Berman Lipovsky Religious School. In addition, the candidate will meet the following criteria. They shall demonstrate a love for Jewish learning, an understanding of the needs of the students and their families, and the ability to recognize and implement changes required for the classroom and/or religious school. In addition, the candidate communicates with students and their families in a manner that strengthens the students and their families' connection to the religious school and the Bethel community. The most important attribute of this candidate is that they possess the creativity and the energy to sustain a thriving Jewish learning environment. This year's award winner is Erez Halef. So Mora Erez has a passion for Jewish education. He has been teaching religious school for 12 years. Hard to believe looking at you. In that time, he has created an engaging and inclusive classroom that reaches all students no matter how they learn. This focus is to share the love and the knowledge for Jewish studies that will last a lifetime. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joan, and thank you to everyone for supporting our school.
The next item on the agenda is the Soul Center update, and we will have that update provided to us by Julie Heddleman.
Throughout my childhood, at the end of the year, my various aunts and uncles would send out letters to all their friends and family, extolling the fabulous things that happened throughout the year. They were filled with pictures and descriptions of trips, pregnancies, awards, graduations, first jobs, and on and on. Reading through these annual letters was a family affair, first around the kitchen table, then through my college and adult years, phone calls with my sister and cousins. They were always the perfect combination of sharing the best of and bragging. So reading them led to a lot of laughter, some awe, and plenty of eye rolling. Now, as we have less and less family around writing these letters, I realize the value of letting your friends and family delight in a year's worth of good things. And a little bragging never hurt anyone. I'm going to let you in on a Weinberger, that's my maiden name because I'm not from here, family tradition, and share the Soul Center's end of fiscal year 25 letter. Dear family and friends, as this year comes to a close, we find ourselves filled with gratitude and awe as we reflect on the incredible journey of the Soul Center over the past 12 months. In true family fashion, we're carrying on the tradition of sending a year-end update, and this one's bursting with pride. It has been another unbelievable year for the Soul Center. Like any proud parent watching something grow into its full potential, we've been inspired every single day by the beauty, energy, and deep connection this sacred space continues to offer. Through Judaism, we've helped people navigate life's ups and downs, find joy, and find each other. This year, the Soul Center ran a jaw-dropping 500 programs, averaging nearly averaging nearly 70 programs a month. Yes, we double-checked the math, and yes, we're beaming. Every one of these was created with intention and heart. Whether it was morning gratitude, the spark, or Zentangle, our weekly staples continue to nurture and anchor our community, reaching across time zones thanks to Zoom. Our beloved gathering groups, Losing My Effing Mind, Not the Plan, and Caregiver Cafe, continue to meet monthly. And we welcome 2 new additions, Menopause Matters and Next Chapter. Each one is a lifeline, providing support, comfort, and connection. It's hard to put into words just how meaningful they are to those who show up. Our generational Torah cohorts grew to include over 50 people, many of whom were discovering Torah for the very first time. With the guidance of our incredible wisdom leaders, these cohorts dove into each parsha, explored the 5 Megillot, and journeyed through Musar. The result? Deep learning, stronger connection, and hearts more tethered to Judaism than ever before. Each season included an abundance of choices for every age and every life stage. Summer brought early morning Mishnah study, paddleboard yoga, podcast discussions in dreamy backyards, and hikes through Maryland trails. Fall was filled with soulful high holiday experiences. Our midnight Slichot circle returned, round challah braiding, and the most out-of-the-box tashlich and mikvah experience on paddleboards in Sioux Creek. Winter was aglow with wit, wine, and wisdom, our 8th annual, where Dr. Erica Brown stole everyone's hearts, and we raised over $200,000. We're still filled with gratitude to all those who contributed. We launched our first guys group, held writing workshops, studied the Torah of Wicked, and even made art out of blessings. Spring brought us together for beautiful author talks, the tastiest hamantashen, and unforgettable conversations about life, death, and legacy. And finally, throughout the year, we sprinkled in the most joy-filled Friday night experience, sheer joy, filling up the Offit and the pavilion with over 400 people, singing, praying, and welcoming in Shabbat. In short, this year was overflowing with learning, laughter, connection, and meaning. We couldn't be prouder of what the Soul Center has become and continues to be. Thank you for letting us share our joy with you, wishing you a new fiscal year filled with growth, inspiration, and just a little bit of that Soul Center magic.
Thank you, Julie. Beloved clergy, officers, board members, fellow congregants, and staff, thank you for the opportunity to address you one last time. Rebecca Fruman recently asked me whether I had a joke prepared for this morning. As I told her, I think I've run out of all the jokes I can tell in mixed company. You know, those who say notain haTorah and those who say no sein haTorah. I do want to acknowledge, though, that just a few days ago, we completed the counting of the Omer, a period of 49 days between the last day of Pesach and the first day of Shavuos. In addition, I have just concluded the counting of the take care, as in, take care, gotta go. Seriously, the real purpose of my remarks is to briefly highlight the past 2 years and express my gratitude. We, your officers and I, have entered into contracts with 3 clergy members and our executive director. We ushered in a new religious school director. We created 3 task forces designed to increase morning Shabbat services attendance, provide live streaming of our services to residential seniors facilities, and to better care for those of our members who are isolated or alone. Although we have had a measure of success in each area, there's a great deal of work remaining to reach our goals. I want to thank all of those who have had a hand in these endeavors, and I'm pleased that Rebecca intends to carry on with these task forces. I have pledged my willingness to assist in this regard. We recently purchased and stocked 3 medical cabinets. 2 will be fixtures in our sanctuaries, and 1 will be a mobile unit for any space in which we are having a large gathering throughout the building or even outside. We added and upgraded security measures and reconstituted the security committee. As for security, I cannot stress enough that we must diligently continue to fortify our campus and security capabilities, as seen by the recent despicable, cold-blooded and targeted murder of 2 young adults in Washington, D.C., and the vicious attack that followed in Colorado. We currently live in a society where one can get injured or killed simply for living in their Jewish skin. The necessary steps to ensure the safety of all of our members, guests, and employees will come at a substantial cost, but we should not be deterred from protecting lives that, as you know, cannot be measured in dollars and cents. Staying on the topic of security, thank you to the many guards who have kept us safe over the past 2 years. Thank you to Michael Ray and his staff, particularly Henry Hinton and Rob Pearson, who worked so incredibly hard to keep our building and grounds in tip-top shape, and who set up and break down room after room after room for every service, program, class, and event 7 days a week. Thank you to Amy Payne for providing a wonderful first impression for those who are new to Bethel. And make sure that all calls, packages, correspondence, and messages get delivered and properly handled. Thank you to Yvonne Epstein, who serves as the clergy's administrative assistant par excellence. 50 years of service to Bethel is truly remarkable. And if Cal Ripken is the Iron Man, Yvonne is undoubtedly the Iron Woman. Thank you to Cantor Emily Ellentuck, who has had a tremendous impact on our religious school in a very short period of time. She has transitioned into our Bethel family in record time, and it is no surprise that her curriculum and vision have resulted in very encouraging enrollment numbers for next year. Thank you to Andy Shankman, Cantor Melanie Schuster, and all of the Hebrew school teachers for everything that they do to educate our children. And thank you to Barry Smith, who held down the fort until the posse arrived. As I've said before, there is no more important task at Bethel than the education of our children. To that end, thank you to Mandy Barish and Sammy Halley, and all of the teachers who care for the youngest in our community. The TLC and foundation that they provide are invaluable. Thank you to Lindsay Addison and Teresa David for preparing delicious and abundant food for us week in and week out. You know, as we say at Bethel, if you feed them, they will come. Thank you to Jeremy Silbert and Esty Zanatti, who have taken our communications and marketing to a level unimaginable even a few years ago. Sammy will soon join them, and as I understand it, will focus her time on marketing and our services and capabilities to our membership and members of the Jewish community at large. Thank you to Randy Arntz, Josh Powell, and Logan Suffel for so capably and seamlessly handling all of our finances. Their jobs are frequently thankless, but absolutely vital to Bethel. Randy is slowly cutting back on his hours, but has notably served us for 33 years. Thank you to Julie Hedelman, Zoe Puphauser, and Marissa Schultz for making the magic happen at the Soul Center. The education, inspiration, meditation, jubilation, and revitalization are truly a revelation. No, not the fish for all you wise guys out there. And thank you to the Dreamers, launch team, and instructors. Thank you to Dr. Eyal Bor and Ellen Marks for consistently providing us with a rich and diverse array of classes, programs, and events unmatched by any other congregation. Thank you to our ritual director, Ben Kreshtoll, whose Torah reading is like butter. And who always makes sure that our I's are dotted. He's not going to cross the T's. Ben will not cross anything. He also assiduously oversees Memorial Park, truly a holy endeavor. Thank you to Amanda Beitman and Becca Waltmeyer McDonald for their efforts in our development office. As you've already heard, our annual appeal reached a record $796,175, a new record, and live raised $400,000. Thanks to Arnold Fruman and Randy Melnick for the appeal, and thank you to Susan and Hal Hackerman. And Dr. Joanna Marshall Reef for all of their hard work and generosity related to Live. Live has become a fantastic event for our congregation, both financially and emotionally. I can't wait to see the completion of the Hackerman Terrace, as well as the new Torah dedicated to the memory of Hal's late mother, Beatrice. Generally, the generosity of our membership over the last 2 years has been nothing short of amazing, and I am truly grateful. Thank you to Jill Suffel, our membership director, who does so much more than her title would indicate. Were it up to me, I would change her title to Director of Membership, Joy, and Troubleshooting. She is a pleasure and a treasure. Thank you to Ben Wachstein, our Executive Director. Not only does Ben make the trains run on time, but he has a knack for hiring top-notch people and putting them in a position to excel, and I think you've seen that this morning. Ben and I met every week during my presidency, and I could not have gotten through these 2 years without his assistance. Thank you to the Budget and Finance Committee, its monthly review of our finances from a multitude of angles with Hal at the helm. Hal, if you're watching at the beach, make sure you got plenty of sunscreen. They keep us healthy and afloat. Adding staff and rising salaries will make our job quite challenging, however, going forward. Thank you to the affiliates and those who led them. Our seniors, led by Ruthie Steinberg, are a social and tight-knit group, and we all benefit from their collective wisdom and experience, not to mention their fundraising to maintain our most precious possessions, our Torahs. The Men's Club, led by Wayne Willoughby, seemed more active than at any time I can recall. From my perspective, its stock is rising. Thank you for growing this great group. Our sisterhood is amazing. Not only is its membership robust, but it's hard to imagine that any other synagogue group is as active or philanthropic. Led by Freddie Silverman and Gail Glick, the sisterhood just recently presented a check to Bethel in the amount of $123,270. This staggering amount of money represents an increase of 45% over last year's generous contribution. You may want to check my math, as Rabbi Schwartz gave me those figures. Thank you, Sisterhood. You show us how it's done. Thank you to our Israeli Affairs, Adult Education, and Social Action Committees. You are an extension of God's arms. Thank you to our choir, ushers, and bullpen members, Adric, Shazi King, and our B'nai Mitzvah tutors. Your contribution and hard work on behalf of our congregation make our services the beautiful occasions that they are. Thank you to our board members. Your input and guidance were most helpful, and Bethel owes you a debt of gratitude for your time and service. Some of you are destined to be officers and presidents going forward. Thank you to the past presidents for your time and wisdom. I learned from you and now look forward to joining your ranks. I cannot thank our clergy enough for all that they do for us. The time, effort, wisdom, warmth, artistry, guidance, and leadership that you provide is immeasurable and cannot be overstated. Thank you to Rabbis Schwartz and Sorokin, and thank you to Cantors King and Schuster. Your pastoral care is truly comforting, and your sermons and voices are equally inspiring and beautiful. We are so proud to call you our own. As most of you know, Rabbi Schwartz will be stepping down as our senior rabbi 51 weeks from yesterday, and he will embark on his new position of Rabbi Emeritus immediately thereafter. I met with Rabbi Schwartz weekly, and whether we talked about sports, music, or weighty Bethel issues, it was always a pleasure. Rabbi Sorokin will be our new senior rabbi, only our fourth in our congregation's history, and the first woman to attain the position. Thank you for keeping Israel and the hostages in the forefront of our thoughts and hearts through programming and sermons. And of course, thank you for continuing to lead the Soul Center. In the months ahead, we will reflect on Rabbi Schwartz's distinguished career and incredible service to Bethel, and we all look forward with tremendous anticipation to Rabbi Sorokin's leadership. I want to thank my officers, Rebecca Fruman, Josh Shine, Hal Hackerman, Fred Cobb, and Jennifer Millman, for all of their support, time, and energy these past 2 years. We were extremely busy and handled a number of unanticipated and sensitive issues. Their collective intelligence and common sense were invaluable to me, and I feel confident in leaving Bethel in their hands. I can assure you that Rebecca will be an outstanding president. She has put in a great deal of time and effort to prepare herself for the role, and as an aside, couldn't be any nicer. We are lucky to have such a dedicated, caring, energetic, and bright woman lead our congregation for the next 2 years. It will be a time of transition for Bethel, and I know that Rebecca will meet the challenge with gusto. Give her your support. It's okay to disagree with her, but please don't ever be disagreeable. Rebecca, as I've told you many times, you should never feel that the task is too great. You have a tremendous support system here, and I and the other presidents will always be available to assist you should you feel the need for help. Emblematic of that support, I offer you this net. Your safety net will be much larger, but perhaps this can be a reminder. Nevertheless, there may be times that you just need to relax.
Oh, wow.
I offer you this scented candle just for such times. If you can't read it, it says stress relief. And last but not least, if all else fails, there's always alcohol. Last but definitely not least, thank you to my wife, Lori, for her support, understanding, and patience. In 1969 or 1970, my father presented Don Buford in the outfield of Memorial Stadium with the Orioles Unsung Hero Award. I couldn't find anything on the internet to support this, but I can assure you I have pictures at home that do. In my mind, as my last official act at Bethel, I am giving the Unsung Hero Award to Lori. Thank you, everyone, for giving me the privilege and honor to lead you these past 2 years. And for the last time, see you in Shoal.
Thank you, Bruce. Wonderful words. Lori did say this is a great day. Right? It's a great day. On many levels, on many levels. It is my honor and duty and privilege to have the opportunity at this time to discharge our outgoing board members and officers and president, and to install incoming board members, continuing term of service, our new officers, and our new president. So here's how we'll do this. First, outgoing board members, I will read your names, and if you are here, would you please rise as your name is called. These are outgoing board members. Sarah Lynn Elkin, Rachel Klein, Melissa Roth, Allison Rubin, Amy Steinberg, Brian Wax, and Mandy Weinman. Anybody? Really outgoing. Went, actually. There may be some online, just so deeply appreciative of your service. Right? Okay, these are board members' continuing term of service through 2026. As I read your names, will you please rise and remain standing? Again, board members' continuing term of service through 2026. I'll read your name. Please stand if you're here and remain standing. Jeffrey Brody, Amanda Brown, Mike Kaplan, Alan Davis, Ken Fuller, Kevin Fruman, Rebecca Giller, Marcy Kaplan, Eileen Rome, Jason Steinhardt, Cheryl Teitel, Brooke Zweig. And these are the board members coming on for a new term to be concluded, 2 of them in 2026 and the rest in 2027. As I read your names, will you please rise? Joel Alperstein, Maren Blum, Neil Eisenberg, Sharon Fryman, Justin Harvey, Robin Kleinman, Alec Levine, Jordy Levine, Randy Melnick, Jay Radov, Jennifer Grossman, Freddie Silverman, Elise Harrison, Lisa Stoller, Adam Himmelfarb, Howard Kahn. Howard Kahn. Hope I didn't miss anybody. As you come onto the board of our congregation, we ask that you bring to bear your very best qualities and sensitivities. As we join together in the ongoing creation of a sacred community, your effort, your energy, and your insight will be highly valued as together we move forward into the future. Our hope and prayer is that you will find in your service to our congregation a deepening of feeling for and connection to our people, our tradition, and our history. You are hereby formally installed as members of the Board of Directors of Bethel Congregation. Mazel tov and Batzlachah. And this morning we just have a single outgoing officer. So Jen Millman, if you'd please rise for a moment. Come on, Jen. Jen, as an officer, you have shown time and again your integrity, your compassion, your wisdom, your intelligence, and your insight. Just want to personally thank you today for your service to the congregation, your leadership, your hard work, and also your commitment to Bethel. You have enriched our community and our lives by your service. We look forward to sharing with you and Joe and the family in the years ahead, God willing, only for the sweet things of life. You are formally discharged from your office. Thank you, John. And now, incoming officers, as I read your names, will you please rise? Controller, Matt Rothstein. Treasurers, Hal's not here. Hal, if you're watching at home, stand up. Secretary, Anna Janet. Second Vice President, Fred Cobb. First Vice President, Josh Shine. To be an officer in a congregation, in a synagogue, is to take on the mantle of leadership, not only in this community, but in the Jewish community. In the years ahead, there is great and challenging work to do. You all know that. And today you assume a new level of responsibility for being engaged in that work, for bringing to bear on it all of your talents, the wisdom that you have, the insight and intuition that you bring to the table, and your sensitivity and your menschlichkeit, which you have to a person. I know that each of you feels honored today to be installed and prepared to do whatever it takes to make sure that Bethel is the kind of place it should be, the kind of place we know that it is, and the kind of place that we all cherish so deeply. Can never thank you enough for the efforts that you bring and that you make on behalf of the synagogue. It is such an honor and privilege for me to install you as the officers of Bethel Congregation. You may be seated. Bruce, would you stand, please? Bruce, over the last 2 years, you have served Bethel with great distinction as our 33rd president. You have brought to this office a passion and love for our faith, pragmatic sensibility, powerful work ethic, profound respect for traditional Jewish life and ritual. For the synagogue, the staff, without question, the clergy, you've just always been there every single time, ready and willing to help us in any way that you possibly could. You have also, in the course of your presidency, enhanced the congregation's appreciation for fine bourbon, the other Bruce, and the Orioles. God bless the Orioles.
7 out of 8.
7 out of 8. And you have approached every challenge you have approached, and you've had a few in the course of your presidency, with a sense of fairness, determination, and always attention to detail. Your love for Bethel is exceeded only by your love for Lori, your family, and your pride in the synagogue is exceeded only by the pride you feel in your Jewish heritage. Our congregation is a better and brighter place because of the countless hours that you have given us. I was truly honored to install you as president 2 years ago. I am grateful today for your friendship, for all the work you've done over the last couple of years. You are hereby formally discharged from your duties as president of Bethel Congregation. Bruce, one more thing. We'll see you in shul. We do have a gift for Bruce. Why don't you open it? You may be seated. Yeah, please. It's not. It's loose. It's loose. So yeah. So be careful.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'll proudly display this in my home. You can be sure of that.
Rebecca, will you please rise? Rebecca, this morning you step into a long chain of distinguished women and men who have served our congregation in its highest office. You are now the 5th woman to be president of Bethel. Along with, and I think it's important to read all their names this morning, Mildred Miller, who was the first woman to be president here, Margot Gillison, Bev Penn, and Denise Franz. Bev and Denise are here today. I saw both of them this morning. I know I speak for the officers, for the board, and also the professional staff when I say we look forward to working with you in the months and years ahead. You bring to this position your love of family, deep connection you have to Judaism, the Jewish people, and the state of Israel, very powerful sense of honesty and integrity, and a beautiful natural warmth and kindness. The Fruman family is one of Bethel's multi-generational families and connected to the congregation, as you know, going back to the very earliest days of the congregation's history. You also bring to Bethel and to your presidency a vision of the synagogue as an inclusive place where Jews will have access to our ancient tradition in new and meaningful ways. And may I say, it is about time we had a deadhead as a president of Bethel. May God grant you the strength, the wisdom, the patience to choose wisely, to lead fairly, to be a faithful heir to those who have preceded you, and an inspiration to those who will follow you in the future. And may your service as Bethel's president always be for you a meaningful expression of the values of Am Yisrael, of the Jewish people. Rebecca, it is my great honor and privilege to install you as the 34th president of Bethel Congregation.
One of my most vivid childhood memories is the funeral of my bubby, Evelyn Adler. I was 12 years old. My bubby passed away from a long battle with cancer. She was a devoted wife, mother, grandmother to my sister Laura and I, sister and friend. She was kind, compassionate, loving, beautiful, and deeply valued her Jewish identity. I wear her gold necklace every day as a reminder she's always with me. For 35 years, she worked at Ner Israel Rabbinical College with Rabbi Herman Neuberger as his assistant. Ner Israel and the students there were a central part of her life. She not only was Rabbi Neuberger's assistant, but she kept the financial books for the school and helped fundraise for students who could not pay the full tuition. At the funeral, I remember meeting some of the students and staff who shared just how special she was to them. As we were driving down Reicherstown Road, leaving Saul Levinson's, we saw rabbinical students who had shown up and were lining the streets to share their condolences. This moment has stayed with me ever since. When a family is in mourning, the Jewish community shows up. When there are difficult and challenging times, the Jewish community shows up. In celebration and joy, the Jewish community shows up. But showing up is not just a nice sentiment. It takes commitment. It is deeply ingrained in Jewish law and tradition. This speaks to a fundamental and enduring aspect of Jewish life, the core value of leaning on each other and feeling responsible for others. It is who my bubby was at Ner Israel, and it is who I continue to strive to be here at Bethel. Creating a sense of belonging and taking care of each other is vital to the Jewish community's existence, resilience, and future. In these challenging times, more than ever, Jewish people are seeking community, belonging, support, and purpose. At Bethel, we offer community. We offer a place to belong. We offer support. We offer purpose. There are so many different ways to get involved at every stage of life. And with our incredible clergy and professionals, our programming and opportunities for engagement will only grow. I'm honored to step into this role as president during this exciting time of transition as we plan for the future and Rabbi Sorokin becomes our first female senior rabbi. You heard Bruce and our team today share all that has been accomplished this year. And I'm here to tell you there is more to come. I'm filled with optimism for what we can achieve together. As a congregation with our shared commitment to Jewish values, I am confident Bethel will continue to thrive, to inspire, and serve as a vibrant home for future generations. I invite each of you to join us in this journey, to bring your ideas, your energy, and your passion to the table. Whether you've been a member for decades or are new to our Bethel community, your voice matters, your participation is essential. Bruce. I want to express my sincere gratitude for all you have done for Bethel and will continue to do. Your dedication to this synagogue is unmatched. Your devotion and how you led with integrity is truly exemplary and leaves a lasting impact on everyone around you. Here at Bethel, we have so many dedicated and involved congregants and lay leaders. And today we installed 2 new officers, Matt and Anna. I'm confident that you will each contribute your ideas and fresh perspectives. My hope is that you will find as much meaning and purpose in it as I have. I look over at our incredible officers and our board members installed today, and I am excited to begin this work with you. To the clergy and professionals at Bethel, please know I am here to support you. It is a collaborative effort, and I believe and I know we can accomplish great things together. When all parts of the organization, lay leadership, clergy, and professionals align their efforts, leveraging their unique skills and passions, the potential for innovation, growth, and positive impact on our community is truly limitless. Today, I stand here supported by my family and friends. I am so grateful for all of you and the special place you hold in my life. To my sons, Ethan and Cooper, being your mom is my greatest privilege. Watching you grow into two remarkable young men is the joy of my life. You give me hope. You two have always supported my passion for service, even when it comes at the expense of our time together, or driving you to practice, or making you dinner, or helping with your homework. I hope that I continue to inspire you to be involved, to give back, to find what you're passionate about, and to stand up for what you believe in. As a mother of two teenagers, it is essential for me to instill a sense of pride in being Jewish. So, live your lives proudly and share your moments of Jewish joy loudly. The best decision I ever made is to say yes to marrying you, Neil. You are a role model for our boys, my biggest cheerleader, and my favorite person. I feel so grateful that you chose this place beside me. That's a dead reference. When I married Neil and joined the Fruman family, Bethel came into my life. And how lucky am I? Little did I know 20 years later how much this place would mean to me and to my family. At Bethel, I have found a community. I have found support. I have found a purpose, and I have found a home. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Those are so beautiful. So yesterday was actually my 46th birthday. And my husband and boys gave me this. And it says, Madam President. So now it's mine, Bruce. I'm the judge. And so as my first official duty, I would like to call a motion to adjourn our annual meeting.
Second.
Second. Okay? All in favor? Aye. All oppose? Abstain? So moved.
Friends, one last piece. The videos that we were going to show, our marketing team, Jeremy Silbert, along with Amanda Beitman, spent a lot of time and energy on them. You will see them on Facebook and in an email within the next half an hour. We apologize for the technical issues.